the Red Door Real Estate team at Keller Williams. We are going to run through our listing agreement here really quickly so that you know what you're signing and what you're agreeing to. So I've got that up on my screen here. So we're going to be looking at this. It's the exclusive right to sell. So what we want to make sure is that we are figuring out if we're selling or renting the property, and then check the appropriate box here on line 10. We generally do our listing agreements for 6 months. That gives us time to close it out if we're in the middle of a contract and kind of go through negotiations. Sometimes things are a little bit longer, and that includes our prep time as well. So we're going to enter our price here in the sales spot, or if we're listing it for rent, in the rental spot. This location part should have all of your information in it already. So you don't have to go through and fill it out. You just need to go through and make sure that we have the right address and the right information here to the best of your knowledge. This part here, fixtures and personal property, this is what stays with the house when you sell it. So if you want to take a look through that, make sure that there's nothing that's a family heirloom, like a chandelier in the dining room that has been in the family for generations, and you want to take that with you. We want to exclude that here so that we don't accidentally include it in a contract later. Same thing if you want to take window coverings like drapes or blinds that were custom made for your, to match your bedspread or something like that. You might as well just take them down now instead of letting a buyer see it and then raising a question later. Do those stay or do they not? So you might as well get that down and put away and out of the house so it's not even an issue. If we're choosing to leave your fridge, washer, dryer, or if you have anything else that is going to be staying with the property, this is where we'll be listing that. And then you'll initial here on the bottom. Page 2 talks about access and Lockbox. So as part of being a member of the board of realtors here locally, we get access to Lockboxes through a Bluetooth thing on our phones. So you have to be a member of that realtor board, go through a fingerprint test, and agree to a code of ethics before you can have access. And so that access is actually going to timestamp and date with your signature on whoever enters that house. So we have a full-blown record of who's been there and at what time and all of their contact info. So we put these on our houses. So we're going to have you initial it that you do, and that you do want one of these on there. And so that'll be able to let us track things a little bit better. We've discussed our agency relationship on a different form, which is actually the real estate agency disclosure and election form. We're working as your seller's agent unless we go into a dual agency situation, in which case we'd be working for both. We're talking about compensation here. We charge nothing up front, so no retainer on our general listing plans. And our typical commission is 6% of the purchase price. Now we do split that with the other side. So whoever the buyer's agent is, that number listed on 89I here will be split with that other side. So we actually write this in as a TBD so that we can have control. I don't have to ask you if I need to incentivize and offer, 3.1% or 2.7 or whatever that number is. I don't need you guys to sign off on that with the TBD here. Same thing goes for the rentals. So we'll be writing in, if we're choosing to help you find a tenant, we'll be writing in the commissions for that side of the deal. If there's a tenant in place and they end up buying it, you are going to be responsible for that commission within here. The commissions will be paid out of escrow, so you don't have to worry about that, or out of the rent if we're renting. Our agreements go for 30 days after the expiration, so that allows us to close out any deals if we're in the middle of something and just hasn't closed yet. That gives us a little bit of a wiggle room there to get that finalized for you. So we'll go right down here to listing broker obligations. This is what I am agreeing to do for you guys. So basically what that means is we are putting signs in the yard. We are getting information as they relate to your mortgages. We are going through and entering information into our MLS system so that other agents and other buyers can see it. And that then is going to be disseminated as part of our marketing. So we do reserve the right to cancel this contract unilaterally if we feel like we either aren't doing a good job, we're not a good fit, or we just can't satisfy your needs and we're not the right person for you. You can also do that too. We're not going to hold you hostage to a listing agreement. The broker is actually going to be responsible for contracts and marketing. You're going to be responsible for the property and the premises, all maintenance, everything like that. So our realtor status, like we talked about a little bit earlier in the Lockbox side, we are a member of the Realtor, we just got a new name, West and Southeast Realtors of the Valley. It used to be the Southeast Valley Association of Realtors. It was a lot easier at Severar. Now it's We Serve. So West and Southeast Realtors of the Valley. To think about it every time. 164 here, the owner obligations. This, and it continues on to the next page, is what you guys are going to be agreeing to. So you're cooperating with us in carrying out our listing duties. You're going to be giving us keys so that we can then make the property available at reasonable times with reasonable advance notice if you're still there. Inform us about any changes to mortgages, any additional liens that have been put on the property, any money that you would owe out of your proceeds so that we can then communicate that to title, any HOAs that are on the property and the contact info to be able to get those fees and assessments. You are also required to complete what we call a SPUDS. It's a seller's property disclosure statement. That should be in your homework pile. And so that's 6 or 7 pages to kind of jog your memory on what history you know of the property and its components. So tell as much as you can on that one, because more information always better than less. That's going to protect you in the long run. You are going to disclose to us and any buyers any material facts that might adversely affect the value of that property. We're going to participate with the Foreign Investment in Real Estate Tax Act, FIRPTA, if you're a foreign investor, or basically if you're not a U.S. citizen and you don't pay taxes here, they'll withhold a portion of those taxes for you at title instead of trying to hunt you down later. If you were built before 1978, we'll have to deal with the disclosure of lead-based paint. We have a whole separate form for that. And if we are in an unincorporated part of the county, we'll have an affidavit of disclosure. So once we go under contract, you have to submit an insurance claims history for the last 5 years. So we'll help you go through that process once we get that offer in place. And then anything else that you can think of that would be pertinent to the property, it is your responsibility to give us that information. You also want to make sure that your insurance is totally current on that property and that you're covered, heaven forbid, something happens during showings or an open house, anything like that. You, as the owner, submit to certain warranties. You have the mental and legal capacity to enter into this agreement and sell this particular property. All of the information you're giving us is the best and true to your knowledge. And then we can't coin any intellectual property. So you can't coin a phrase like charming stunner in Phoenix with mountain views. You can't coin that. It's going to be disseminated. There's no intellectual property on any of our marketing. You do need to keep your utilities on through inspections and for the final walkthrough so that the buyer can figure out if things are working, if things have changed, and be able to move through and close on that home. We need it on for the appraisal as well. You're holding your brokers harmless of any liability from any of that information that would be your responsibility to provide. We might be showing this house to other people that we represent. We might also be listing the same exact floor plan, same exact house next door. So just know, you don't get the sole focus of that neighborhood as far as it relates to prospects and other listings. Any of the deposits that we collect as like an earnest deposit, any additional deposits in the middle, security deposit, rent deposits, any of that stuff will be held in a different account. It's not actually going to be in my account. It's not actually going to be in yours. So when we're selling things, it goes into title. And so they're going to be the neutral third party that holds all those monies. If we give you guys a recommendation and they don't do a good job, I want to know about it. We probably won't recommend them again, but know that they're not affiliated with us and they're going to be a separate party. So let's talk backup offers here. We can check one of these boxes. I would say don't. I'm going to tell you the second I get an offer anyway, regardless of if we're under contract or not. So we can pigeonhole ourselves by saying we're going to accept backup offers and accept an offer in that first backup position, but a week later, we may get a better offer. So we're actually not going to accept anything in a hard and fast backup until we need to. We're going to collect stuff so that we have the choice when it comes down to it if we need it, but we're not going to lock ourselves into a specific contract. So we do have to play by equal housing opportunities. We have to abide by those fair housing laws. Those are federal laws. Time is of the essence in all of our contracts. So there are very crucial timelines, especially in the purchase contract, that we have to play within. So we'll be keeping you abreast of what those are and when our deadlines are up. All of our contracts have been vetted by legal crews for the safety and compliance of everybody involved. They've all been reviewed, and they're all state contracts, so we don't, need to worry about the legality of anything coming from there. We've got your property taxes, which are going to be taken care of during your transaction. So you won't get any future bills for property taxes. You're going to pay the buyer directly for the time that you actually own the home, and then they'll pay those taxes for you on your behalf the next time that they're due. So you guys are off free and clear. If we have to write in anything additional, this is where it'll go. Our general language says something to the effect of, we're signing this, we're not going on the market tomorrow. You're going to be delivering written notice to me when the property is deemed market ready. And so what that means is if you have any painting, any repair work, any work that you're doing to the property at all, once that's finished and you feel like you're ready for me to take over, send me an email, and then we'll start all of our marketing processes from there. So then we go into our last page here. This is where we're going to get all of your information and sign off, and then I'll sign as well. And then that is how we start our relationship on the listing side.